Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Learning a foreign language is our topic today, and we're going to hear from a famous Spanish star. But we're going to start with
making yourself understood.
Remember Juan? During this series, we've seen him use a lot of techniques to help people understand what he's saying.
and to make sure that he understands what they are saying. Here are some of the most important techniques.
Repeat your words. If necessary, more slowly and more clearly than before.
Try to express the same idea with different words.
Demonstrate your meaning by using your hands.
Translate words into any language that you think the person you're talking to may understand.
If you don't know the word for something, describe it or explain it.
Tell the person if you don't understand them or if you haven't heard what they said, and ask them to say it again.
Most important of all, don't give up. It's always possible to find a way to communicate if you keep on trying, honestly.
Right. It's the end of a long, busy day, and Juan is thirsty.
You'll hear the expression licensing laws, which means legislación que regula la venta de bebidas alcohólicas. See how many communication strategies you can spot.
Hello! Oh, I've had such a busy day that I haven't had a chance to sit down. I said, I've had such a busy day that I haven't had a chance to sit down.
I'm sorry?
I'm exhausted. It's been a very tiring day. But it's been worth it. I have just signed a major contract with a company here.
Oh, congratulations, sir. Well done.
I hope you're open.
Well, yes. We are open.
Good.
But I'm afraid I can't serve you a drink.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
I cannot serve you because you are not a resident.
But
Because of the licensing laws in this country, this hotel is only allowed to sell drinks to residents. I'm afraid I can't serve you.
But I am a resident. Room 205.
Oh, I am terribly sorry, sir. What would you like?
I'd like a beer. Do you have San Miguel?
What? Is that English beer?
No, no. Do you have bitter? I'd like a bitter.
I'm afraid the bitter's off, sir. We haven't had bitter here for 2 days. I told the manager, but he didn't do anything about it. He never listens to me. Just the other day, I
Well,
said we
I'll
need
just
cashew nuts.
have a pint of lager, then.
Anything to eat?
Well, yes, good idea. What have you got?
Well, let's see. Right, we've got scampi and chips, cottage pie and chips, Cornish pasty and chips, Welsh rarebit and chips. Oh, and there's some paella.
Some what?
Some paella. You know, it's a rice dish with chicken and seafood. Paella.
You mean paella?
What?
In Spain, we pronounce it paella. Never mind. I'm not really hungry, but I would like my pint of lager, please.
The bar's now closed.
I'm terribly sorry, sir. I'm afraid the bar's closed.
Oh, please.
No, because of the licensing laws in this country, I'm afraid I can't serve you.
Thanks.
At your service.
Poor Juan. I'm afraid he's not going to get a drink.
No. But how about those communication strategies? Which ones does Juan use here?
Hello. Oh, I've had such a busy day that I haven't had a chance to sit down. I said, I've had such a busy day that I haven't had a chance to sit down.
I'm sorry?
I'm exhausted. It's been a very tiring day.
He repeats. He speaks more slowly. And he expresses the same idea in a different way.
I'm afraid I can't serve you a drink.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
The key thing here is to say that you don't understand. The expression Juan used was...
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Listen to the barman now. What does he do to help communication?
Oh, and there's some pa-e-la.
Some what?
Some pa-e-la. You know, it's a rice dish with chicken and seafood. Pa-e-la.
You mean paella?
The barman describes the dish when Juan doesn't understand the word. It's a rice dish with chicken and seafood. That's a very useful skill, to be able to describe and explain what you're talking about.
And you can also ask people to repeat or clarify something they've said, like this.
Some what?
And now it's time for the news. Here's a question for you. What's the importance of the Boeing 707? Back we go to the 1950s.
Good evening. Here is the news from the BBC in London. The headlines. The new Boeing 707 heralds a new age of travel. And the man who stopped speaking Esperanto. But the main news story is that Boeing have launched a new jet airliner. I asked our science reporter, Anna Pilkington, what was so special about the new plane.
Well, Trevor, quite simply, the new Boeing 707 can carry more passengers and can travel faster than any other passenger plane.
And what does this mean for the future?
Well, Trevor, it's going to bring down the price of international travel. As a result, I think flying is going to be so cheap that even ordinary people like you will be able to go abroad for holidays.
So air travel won't be just for the rich. Will ordinary people go to places like Spain?
That's right, Trevor.
Well, well. Olé. And finally, an 85-year-old man from Spain, who has only spoken Esperanto for the last 30 years, has just completed a course to learn English. It's called That's English. He said that his life had been rather lonely since it was difficult to find people to talk to in Esperanto. So he is absolutely delighted with That's English and looks forward to a bright and prosperous future. He said today that English is the international language of the future. He added that more and more people from the world of politics, business, science and medicine are using the English language to communicate with each other. That's all the news from the BBC in London. Good night, or as they say in Spain, adios.
Do you think that's true, Vanessa? That English has become a sort of Esperanto? That English is now the international language of communication?
Yes, it certainly is. And one of the main reasons why people are learning foreign languages more and more is because of cheaper and faster travel. That's why the Boeing 707 was important.
Well, Trevor, It's going to bring down the price of international travel. As a result, I think flying is going to be so cheap that even ordinary people like you will be able to go abroad for holidays.
Even ordinary people like you will be able to go abroad for holidays.
Let's find out now what ordinary British people think of learning foreign languages. We asked people this question. Do you think it's important to learn a foreign language?
Oh, yes, I do. I think it is very important. You miss so much if you can't understand the other person's language.
Yes.
Yes, I think we ought to teach our children at a much earlier age to learn a foreign language.
I think with the expansion of the European Union, it'll be very important for people to have at least one other foreign language, particularly one from Europe.
I think it's very important to learn to speak foreign languages. I speak French and German, and I'm learning to speak Spanish too. I'd really like to learn to speak Italian as well. That way you can communicate all over the world. I think it's very important.
Lots of good reasons there for learning foreign languages.
Yes, it's funny, isn't it, that the British are so bad at it.
But what about the Spanish? Well, here's one of the many Spanish people who have become famous in both the Spanish-speaking and the English-speaking worlds.
What question do you think he's answering here?
You know how English is important in music today. It's everything all over the world. So I don't think that I'm going to do all the show in Spanish because I would feel uncomfortable because I have something else to tell them in music. I have to tell them that I learned something a little more in my music. And there is music in English that you cannot sing in Spanish. In the way that even if the music is universal, to match the music you need the phrasing in English because the beat is there and it's made for the English lyrics. So I will sing, of course, a lot in Spanish, or when I will be in France, in French. But I will have a part of the show will be English.
In that interview, Julio Iglesias was answering this question. Why do you sing in English?
But I'm afraid that's all we have time for today.
Yes, and it's almost the end of the series too. Our next programme will help you with your final exam.
Please join us then.
Goodbye.